No worries. Anyway, let's go to the questions here. I've got some few questions here from you guys, so we can get ourselves all together ready for lovely question and see what we've got here. So my first question, anyone can answer it, but what I want to hear is why are world leaders unanimously supporting Israel?
Martin?
Anyone?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, I say why are world leaders are unanimously supporting Israel? So I think somebody's asking this question why they all supporting Israel.
Right. Okay. I don't think they are. I think that there's a great deal of consternation amongst world leaders as to how to handle this, and I think there is definite support for Israel's right for security and defence, and absolutely, and the need to get rid of Hamas. But I think many people are very concerned about the extreme high casualty rates that are being experienced within Gaza because, of course, the Hamas are using human shields, because, of course, they are based themselves under hospitals or what have you. So I think actually the reality is that the international community is divided on this. There is clear, strong support for Israeli security, but there is very, very real concern at the cost of civilian casualties as the IDF go after Hamas. But that, of course, is how Hamas organised it, so that basically whoever goes after it has to kill civilians. So I think actually there is real concern about this. Defence of Israel, absolutely, but a real concern at the cost that is being paid by Palestinian civilians in the fight against Hamas, because clearly there are thousands and thousands and thousands of Palestinians who've died now, and that is also equally distressing. It's not being deliberately done. I mean, Hamas did that deliberately. The IDF are not deliberately targeting civilians, but on the other hand, huge numbers of civilians are dying, and I think that provides a real challenge to the international community.
The next question I've got here is very interesting. Who truly own this land?
Israel.
Of course.
I'm Israel.
Absolutely.
Forever.
What about you, Martin, from a historical perspective?
Sorry, what was the question again? Sorry.
The question is, who truly own the land? Who the land belongs to?
The land belongs to all the people that live there, and that makes it more complicated, doesn't it? Because there are Palestinians, there are Jews, there are Muslims, there are some Christians as well. And I think if it was as simple as one side owned it, then I think it would be much easier. It's complicated because it is the homeland of a whole range of people, and somehow all of their destinies, all of their futures have to be somehow taken into account. And at the moment, that's proving very hard to do. So I would not go for a simple answer, no.
This question is very interesting, and I think it's probably more towards Martin on that one. Is what do you think the Christian response should be in relation to this conflict?
The Christian response, that's a very good one, is not to take a partisan approach. I think our response is to support movements for peace, to denounce the vicious and terrible attacks on civilians. I think it is also to caution restraint at times, given the terrible Palestinian casualties as well. And I think we do have to remember that as the Ecclesia of Christ, we do not give complete, unquestioning support to any nation, any state, any regime. That whilst we support Israel's right to exist and Israel's right to defend itself, we also cry out for the suffering of the Palestinian people as well. And that means the good friends of Israel also, I think, at times have to point out to Israel when things are being done that are a matter of concern. And I would raise the extreme movement of settlers into the West Bank as being a really serious problem that at the moment many Christians are not addressing at all. And I think Israeli right-wing extremist settlers in the West Bank are part of the destabilizing of the situation. And that's something that we don't hear very much about at all. There's good information now on Christians increasingly being attacked in eastern Jerusalem, and they're not being attacked by Hamas, they're being attacked by far right-wing Israeli extremist settlers who don't want Christians there either. So I'm not for a moment drawing a parallel between what they're doing and the horrors done by Hamas on October the 7th. But what I am saying is that amongst some extremist right-wing Israeli settlers, there are things going on at the moment that need to be addressed by Israel and by the international community, and that Christians are very often slow to address this difficult area. We do not offer unequivocal support to any nation. We only offer that to Christ.
Thank you. That's very good. Ilan, I've got a question for you.